All right, you guys, I'm back. I'm biggity, 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 biggity back. So I see that the chat is working. So as you come in, please put a number 9 in the chat and let me know that you can hear me and see me well. All right. So I'll give it just a moment because as you guys know, I have so many things going on constantly. Yeah. Soon, 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 my plate shall be light. All right. So wait for a while to see who comes in. Alrighty. All right. Let's see. Like I said, these entities in these streets, you guys have no idea who you're dealing with. Because everyone in a meat suit is not a human. It's not who you think they are. All right. Shalom. Shalom. Welcome. Welcome, welcome. Y'all's scattered. Welcome. Welcome, welcome. Good to see you here. So maybe it's just like a few more seconds. Like you guys know that I don't wait too long. This will be posted. It will be kept here, just like all my other lives and videos. But I had to jump on here and just share this with you all. Things in America, Amexa, Turtle Island, y'all. Things are heating up. They are heating up. And it's so interesting because you guys know that I started this channel when I began my journey, my traveling journey really abroad. And which you all know that I lived in Africa for 2 years. And then I ended up traveling on to other parts of the world with my son. And so I was back on the North American continent, as you know, in North America, as you know, on the American continent and in North America. And, I was getting this pushing to come back. I don't, I was just literally, it would not leave me alone. I was in Mexico. I was, living well. We were good. And I was being pushed so hard. I mean, I was just pulled to come back on this side because there was work for me to do here, right? And so I finally just obeyed and came back. And while I'm so very happy, to be back as I've expressed, I'm happy because, there are some perks to being back. And there are some things that I really love and appreciate about, this side of the tracks. First of all, it's my earthly home. And also, just the language, I don't have the language barrier, any longer. And people really understand just being from the same culture and just being able to have a conversation where, you're understood and there was a mutual understanding. But there were also just some things that I was trying to complete while I was abroad, and I just could not do it. There are just certain things that you can only do from here. So either ways, let me just jump right into the story, okay? So I'm driving along, okay, and I haven't even told you guys, like, okay, so I had just got my car, okay? A brand new car that I desperately needed. because everything in Texas is like so spread out. You must have a vehicle to really survive and like to get around. So I was so excited, and it just gave me a sense of independence and freedom. Well, some days ago, you guys, not even a week yet, I hear this horrible crash, right? And I'm going to jump into the story that pertains to the title. But I hear this horrible crash. And so it's the wee hours of the morning, and I'm just like, what the heck is like going on? Like somebody is either dead or severely injured. That's how violent the accident was. Okay, so I go back to bed. Okay. I wake up maybe sometime later, and I see that there are tow trucks and things moving a vehicle from within where I reside. So I'm like, oh, that must mean that it may have happened like somewhere inside of here. But again, this is the wee hours of the morning. I'm very sleepy. I'm very tired. So I go back to bed. I wake up in the rising, and I see all this debris by my vehicle, like as if there was like a tornado or something like that. So I was like, what the heck is going on? All these trees and stuff. You guys, I go and look at the back of my vehicle. Some crazy ass woman bashed into my neighbor's car that was parked behind my car, and she smashed through her car and pushed her car into my brand new car, you guys. Messed up my damn car. Okay. So I'm dealing with that. She doesn't speak any English. Okay. This is what the police told me. Speaks no English and has crashed into my vehicle. And now she has some kind of bootleg insurance. So I have had, it's been a week. It really has been so trying for me. Okay. So either ways, I was, driving along, trying to still hold my peace after having this event, just this horrible week of having this lady like smash into my car. So I'm almost to where I reside. Now, I have told you guys that the drivers, what I have observed here in Texas, is letting me know exactly where we are in this shift. The machines are out. These various entities have returned back, some to the surface of this earth, okay, from inner earth, okay, and then there are machines, and then there's the whole transhumanism thing from the Venom, okay. So you have all of this going on at once. That's if the veil is lifted, you will be able to see. There is so much erratic, like crazy erratic behavior going on here, especially in Texas and on these roads. So my son and I were literally, okay, ran off the road twice. Okay, so getting back to the story, I go the speed limit. I go maybe just over the speed limit. That's not good enough for the people here. If the speed limit is 65, they want you going 85 or more. I'm not going to do it. So I'm going the speed limit. This maniac is behind me, flashing the lights. Okay. I am to a point where I'm not for the shit. I'm just not. I'm not for the shit. If you're flashing me, if you're following me too closely, that to me is blatant, aggressive behavior. And I take it very seriously, because we are precious cargo. Okay. And so, I'm just still going the speed limit. He's getting closer and closer and more aggressive. So I stop. because I want to know what the fuck is up? Like, what are you trying to do? you know? And so I stop, and he pulls around to the side. So I'm in like let's go mode. Like, what is it that you're trying to do? I'm in total like warrior mode. Okay. Just trying to figure out like which way you want to go, because we can go both ways, whatever it is, we can do it. Okay. And so then he goes, you fucking, you know what? Inward. Now, let me tell you guys something. Now, that's the very first time someone has used that word towards me in my face. Okay. And I do not respond to that word. It does nothing to me. I have seen my people go ballistic when people, call them that word or use that racial epithet. But because I know who I am, it literally registered nothing within me. I was more so focused on the aggressive behavior. That was my whole focus. Okay? Because we can go there. We really can really go there if you want to go there. And so that was my focus. Like I had no internal feelings about, him using that racial epithet towards me, because I know who I am. And I know for a fact that I'm royalty. It is written in my genes and it is written in my DNA. Okay. But the erratic behavior, the mental instability, mental immaturity, just overly emotional. I mean, people are really out here like losing their shit. They are losing their shit. And so I am saying to you all that it is time for us to return back to chaos. It is time to return back to that primordial energy that we were before our soul, our light took to this human vessel, this matter. Okay? It is time. I've said this before, we have the wrong concept of love. Everything that we have been taught has been primarily a lie. Okay? Over 90% of what we have been taught and indoctrinated with has been a lie, and it has been to keep us oppressed and suppressed and in a state of utter ignorance so that we can continue to stay in this coma. Now, there are various tools that have been used. The miseducation system, religion, has been used. So there's just so much more. False prophets, false teachers, okay, have been used. His story, okay, false writings. They have tried so many ways, okay, just destroying and breaking up our families. It's just a pathology has developed as of just perpetuating this indoctrination, okay, so that it can continue to suppress the God that is us and that is within us. We are Christ consciousness. That is who we are. And if you don't know that, now you know. And if you don't want to know that, this most certainly is not for you. Keep it moving, because these are facts. So we are the ones that have to join together and become that body, that one body again of Christ consciousness. We are the ones that are going to have to save ourselves by raising our vibration and expanding our consciousness so that we can evolve. That is just what it is. So we're moving into these new dimensions, these higher dimensions. and we're all supposed to be doing our work. But I've heard people say this is a spiritual battle. This is spiritual, and it gives us the false impression that things will not get physical. Well, we live on a physical plane. Yes, we're multidimensional beings, but this vessel is here on a physical plane. And it is universal law that as above, so below. So there are spiritual battles going on. Why on earth would you possibly think that it's not going to manifest in the physical? It is, and it will. And this is something that we have to prepare ourselves with. Why do you think? I mean, I don't know where you all are as far as your level of consciousness, your level of awareness, if you have been observant, but I'm highly observant. And you will see a lot of our brothers and sisters are getting in tip-top shape. A lot of them are training hard. They're becoming stronger. They're developing their elemental powers and all different types, telekinesis and all different types of kinesis. They're coming into their full power. Yeah, I've seen brothers like in total like ninja mode that can do some fly ass shit with their bodies. These flips, and they're becoming very agile and very flexible. Why do you think it's happening on such a massive level? It's not for anything. It isn't. It is time to clean house. It is time to clean house. Okay? Yeah, scatter. America is spiritually sick. It's sick in many ways. It's sick, of course. And if it's sick spiritually, it's absolutely going to manifest in the physical. Absolutely. Absolutely. Whatever happens spiritually, there we go. We're in sync. Okay. There you go. Yas scattered. Okay. And so it is going to get physical. It is. It is. And you need to prepare yourself, and you need to prepare your home. And this is what I have been telling you all. So if you are one and that you're waiting on someone to come to save you, come out of the sky and save you, you have been lied to. And you're going to continue to wait forever for that to happen. Are there cosmic benevolent forces that will come and join? Absolutely. We have a cosmic benevolent family of warriors. But we have to be the initiators. We're the ones that are here. Now, many, before we get to the point, before that spiritual war manifests here on earth, and I mean physically, us being in war again. This has happened many times, but many will not be here. Many are leaving. Many people are leaving, and it's going to continue to be that way until those that were meant to be here for this major shift and the finalization of the shift are left, because everyone's not built for this stage. They're not. And so I employ you to continue to do your self-work, continue to raise your vibration, continue to discover your true self, which is the light that powers this body. That's who you truly are. You are not this vessel. This vessel is a tool that the soul uses, and the soul, the spirit, uses the soul. You are the energy that powers this vessel. You are the energy that powers this vessel. You are the energy that powers this vessel. You are not this vessel. You are not this vessel. You are not this vessel. Okay? And so we have to prepare ourselves. But I just thought, I just share that. Like, And I want you all to stop giving that word power. You have to know who you are. You must know who you are. And when you know who you are and you live and stand in who you are, then the universe and everyone else is going to they're going to treat you like you know that you are and who you know that you are. So he wasn't talking to me. He couldn't have been talking to me. He was talking to himself. And like I said, what I was focused on was the aggressive behavior. That is something that I will not tolerate. If anyone is coming for me, they're coming for my son, then that means you want all the smoke. And I can give you all the smoke. It's not a problem. It really is not a problem. It's not. No one asks a lioness, why she attacked, the enemy or the other animal that came to for her children. No one asks a mama bear why she mauled someone to death who got just too close to her cubs. So shall I not be the same as a mother? And vice versa. My son is very protective, vice versa. But you come for me and you come for mine, you have a problem on your hands. And so, like I said, I just wanted to know what's up? What are you trying to do? Because no fear lives here. When when the veil is lifted, you will feel your power. When you know that you don't die, that was a lie, because you are energy, primordial energy, you can never die. So when you know that you cannot die, what are you afraid of? And death is not even what you think it is. It's not the end. It's actually the beginning of you transitioning into something greater and better, depending upon your where you left off consciously in your previous life. Very few souls are new. Most of us are ancient souls. I know that I am. This is not my first rodeo. So prepare yourselves. You need to prepare yourselves. But this is a mental game. The game of life is mental. The game of life is mental. This is a simulation. It's a projection, an illusionary projection. And when you see it for what it really is, you can be in the controller seat. You need to know, again, that you are the energy that powers this body. So many of you play games. I know you do. You play the video games. Well, see yourself just like you have that joystick and you're the controller. It's the same thing. The soul is the controller. That's who you truly are. So you need to see yourself outside of this body as the soul controlling it, so that no one is in control of your joystick. So you better get ready. It's a here. I know you think that everybody who's inside of a meat suit who looks human, I know you think that they are, but they're not. I know you think that they are, but they're not. They're not. There is the God-man, mankind, the human. You must know who you are. And then there are others. You have the machines, the cyborgs, the NPCs. They're all here. And this is why you have to lift the veil so that you can see through the meat suit and recognize the type of entity that you are dealing with. This is what you must do. We have an oppressor, but we also have an Elohim. Therefore, we have, I can't see the rest. Hold on. What does it say? Therefore, we have something not been, that's a whole other story. So if you're coming from Yah scattered, if you're coming from, it feels like you're coming from like the Hebrew Israelite angle, been there, I've been there, done that. You probably want to watch some more of my content on this channel. I know who the Elohim are. I don't think that you know who the Elohim are. And I think that that's something that you need to research more. Okay, we have benevolent beings and we have disagreeables. And all of the Elohim are not benevolent, and you need to know that. There is a sect who are disagreeables. And I hope you know that. I hope you know that. Okay. So anyway, you guys, I needed to pour into you all. I need you to know who you truly, truly are. And like I said, I think this channel has almost run its course. Like I said, I'm going in a whole other direction here. I am most certainly not the woman that I was when I initially started this channel. I've given so much of myself, on this platform. It has been such a joy and such a pleasure. But I also think that a lot of the followers that I gained here, they followed me for who I was at that particular time. And I am not the same person that I was when I initially started this channel. Gratefully, I have expanded my consciousness. I have done my work. I have studied and showed myself approved, and the veil has been lifted from my eyes. And I'm so grateful for that. So I am starting a new channel that I have been working on, but my plate is always so full because I'm always doing so much. And so I think I've come to the conclusion. I know in my last video, I did state that I was meditating on whether I was going to continue. I will always leave this channel up because it is a wealth of information on here, but I will post the link to my new channel. Okay. In all things, we evolve, we progress, we move forward, and we climb to higher heights. And that is just, where I am at this juncture. There is a new me. Yeah, there's a new me. It is my pleasure. No, the Elohim are not one. Okay. And I'm not one to go back and forth. The Elohim are not one. Because if there was oneness, we would see that reflected. The Elohim is not one. That is why there is war in heaven. I would implore you to go back and read Genesis 1 and Genesis 2. And if you want to really understand and comprehend Genesis, you must read the Enuma Elish. If you want to comprehend Genesis, you must read the Enuma Elish. If anyone is telling you that you can only read a particular type of book, whether it's King James Version 1611, if you can only read the King James and the Apocrypha and all, then you really need to reconsider that organization. There are many writings because the Bible means biblios, which means a collection of writings or a collection of books. It is a compilation. And if you don't comprehend what happened at the Nicaea Council, then you don't comprehend about where we are currently. Daniel told you in the dream that we were in the last captivity, and that was Rome. We are under Rome currently. Didn't you know? Didn't you know? Okay. So I want us to climb to our highest heights. That's if you want to. You don't have to do anything you don't want to do. I'm just, I would think that you came here to be like the greatest that you can be, that you came here for a particular purpose, that you came here to evolve. For when you evolve, then our dear earth can evolve. I would hope that you came here for something greater. Well, in order to do that, you must know thyself. That it should be your first, your first and your primary focus is to know thyself. Know how powerful you are, that you are the primordial energy. You are Christ consciousness in human form. You are an ancient being. And you need to know that. And you need to operate in that. Stop allowing people to tell you who you are. I always tell you all, you have to search that from within yourself. You have to time travel. Slavery is not all of our stories. It isn't. We all did not come from that. You were lied to when they told you that. And if you start to research, you will find out that you probably don't have a history of being enslaved, not at least not in the sense of what you have been taught. Now, there was a new slavery enacted under the 14th Amendment that we were all tricked into, our parents were tricked into, to be informants to the doctors for the benefit of the government to take out a bond, which is a birth certificate, and trade it on the open market to make multi-billions. No one told our parents those things. They were tricked into that. So that's the new age. But prior to this, you may not have any history of being enslaved. You have to determine that. And yes, there is a nation of Melanites, but not all Melanites are even the same. Okay? So you have to know who you are. That's your first commandment. Know who you are. Do not leave it up to anyone else to tell you. But I can say that you are energy. Otherwise, this vessel would not be able to operate. It would be dead. Just matter. And stop responding. Stop giving these people your energy. When they use these racial epithets, it is all that they have. And for so many years, it has been working for these people. It has been working for them. They get so much energy out of us when they call us everything but a child of God, of the Most High. And then we just go ballistic and we go crazy. But that means that you don't know who you are. Why would you respond? Why would you respond to that? It makes no sense to me. None. And he thought he was doing something, you guys. He thought he was doing something, but it didn't bother me at all. I'm sorry, I'm trying to figure out how to get my ponytail right. Okay? We have to stop responding and giving them so much energy. Because if you are responding in that way, then that means that you believe that you are that which they are calling you. And you should know that you are not that. We should know that by now. Oh my God, he called me a, oh my God, he called me, no. Like I said, I was more so focused on the aggressive behavior. That's what I was focused on. F the N word. I'm focused on the aggressive behavior that when you're putting my life in danger and my son's life in danger. So I just want to know, again, like I said, what's up? Okay. But continue you all to do your work and stop falling for the banana in the tailpipe. We stop falling for the banana in the tailpipe. And I do want to touch on this just in case anyone else has this question. Someone was asking me, oh, DC, I don't know if you're here, but I know she was asking, who am I going for in this presidential election? Now, I would think, and I love you, DC, but I would think watching all of my content that you guys would know that I don't participate in reindeer games. So let me make that very clear. I don't participate in reindeer games. The election has nothing to do with me. For I vote no master over me and my people. I vote no master over me and my people. This is not from the Republic's perspective, okay? This has to do with the corporation of the US. Corporations have presidents. This has nothing to do with the Republic. This has nothing to do with the people who are private, who are separate from the corporation, who are not 14th Amendment citizens. So I don't participate in reindeer games, for I know that that they are the same side of one coin, for I know their inception. I believe it was the Democratic Republic, right? Right, son? Yeah, it was the Democratic Republic prior to it splitting into two. And so when I see every 4 years and when I see my people continue to fall for the banana in the tailpipe, I have to wonder, are you really my people? Or are you perpetrating the fraud? Or it tells me that you're still so deep in a coma. Or it tells me that you really love your oppression. For my people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge. Not because it does not exist, it's because you refuse to seek it or you refuse to accept the truth. You keep falling for the banana in the tailpipe, and that you need to stop. It's becoming so easy to fool you all. It truly is. And so you have to wonder. You have to wonder. Like, why would I stop when it's so easy to fool you all? Why would anyone stop trying to trick you? You fall for it every time. It's so lame. It's so old. It's so tired. Aren't you tired? That's what I wonder. Aren't you tired? Let me see. Let's not waste our final captivity. It definitely don't have nothing to do with, well, I'm not black. I'm sorry. Y'all scattered, yeah, and I know what you mean. So quote unquote black folk. We have to stop the word spells. The English language is a language of spells. This is why we have to learn how to spell and write cursive. The English language is a trade language. I, this is why, again, I'm starting my new channel. I'm going full force deep. Everything is coded in symbols and symbology. And if you do not know how to read the symbols, then you will always be in darkness. You will always be in darkness. If your mind is still consumed with religious dogmatica, look it up. The veil will never be lifted for you. So we are not black. That is a color, and that means you are really dead. Black also means pale. I need you to read Black's Law Dictionary. I believe it's in the 4th or 6th edition. It tells you the true meaning of these words that we have been using haphazardly without knowing the deeper meaning. As I told you, the English language is a language of spells, curses, and is a language of trade. So we're not black. Okay? We're various shades of beautiful brown. That's what we are. And we have to stop calling ourselves, tarnishing our own selves, cursing ourselves. But yes, it has nothing to do with us. We are the organic beings, and I'm speaking for the Amaru, those in America, because I've done my research. We are the organic beings here. We've been here all along. I've done my ancestry. And yes, I also have connections on the continent of Africa, but in places like Sierra Leone and Liberia, you must understand, overstand how they were created. We have been lied to. I cannot wait to read you guys on my new channel this document. And it's going to explain to you how a lot of Americans were sent over to Africa. Okay? Sent over there with false hopes and promises. And some just stayed there for generations and generations and up until now. And they don't know that they're from America. That happened. I will read you the document. You can access a lot of this information from the Library of Congress. You must become comfortable with reading again. You must be comfortable with reading, and you must comprehend. I see that people have an attention span. It is so short. You don't want to read anything. You don't even want to meditate. You don't want even to take time with self and for self to better thyself. It's like you want everyone else to do the work for you. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. Everyone is responsible for their own soul. Everyone is responsible for their own soul. Your mother, your father, no one else is responsible for your soul except you. You, beloved. You can't blame and point the finger at anyone else. You're responsible for your own soul. Okay? And we're going to talk about on my new channel, we're going to talk about um what's happening in our family structures, the division within our community. We're going to be talking about economic freedom. We're going to talk about how reach all the way back, and talk about how we got to where we are and what we need to do to better ourselves and better our community. We're going to talk about subjects that are uncomfortable. We're going to talk about abuse, mental, emotional, sexual abuse. And in some families, it's greater than others. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the tumultuous relationships between, mother and daughter and son and father and son and mother and son and father and daughter. We're going to talk about how, what we did wrong and how we can correct, this non-beneficial behavior. Okay. We're going to talk about how to recognize the tricks of the enemy and the tools that the enemy uses so that you can develop a defense, because you can't defend yourself when you don't know that you're being attacked. This is a multi-level attack. Okay? We're going to talk about these things openly and honestly, without judgment, but creating this safe space so that we can, first of all, open up that throat chakra, right? And release some of the negative tension, and some of the hurt, and so that we can heal ourselves. Talk about things that we can't talk about around other people because they just don't comprehend, they don't understand, they haven't been in our shoes. We live a drastically different experience than anyone else in our nation. We live a drastically different experience. And I found now that we don't have a lot of safe spaces, because a lot of spaces that claim to be safe for melanated people include others, because whether they're married, there's an interracial marriage or what have you, and so those spaces now are breached, and people become uncomfortable talking about things. But we need to start discussing these things, because we have to heal ourselves. And the one thing that we need to do is unify. And when I say unify, that doesn't mean that we're all going to come together and it's going to be kumbaya. It's idiotic. It's not going to happen. What I am saying is, because there will always be a disagreeable side, always. But those of us that are vibrating on the same level and the same frequency, we most certainly can come together. And that is powerful. It is powerful. And we must show up for each other. We must start supporting each other. We must stop the hate. We must stop the jealousy and the envy and the in-family fighting. We have to stop this behavior. It's diabolical to our progression. The other day, and this is what I get. Now, I walked in and I'm just so happy, and I'm smiling, and I see my people and I'm happy, and I'm just like, and then as soon as I'm doing that, the bright smile, and the sister's just like, for what? For what? I'm going to end with this. I'm just going to say it. Some of you melanated women are so nasty. Like I don't want to even be by that type of energy ever, 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 ever. Some of you all are so deeply hurt and so deeply bruised. You are consumed with anger, misplaced anger. You are envious and jealous. If there is something you don't like about yourself, God damn it, change it. Change it. Because each and every moment that you have a breath, spirit in your body, prana, you have it in your body, then you can change if you want to. So if you don't like your body, it's something about yourself you don't like, that's something that you have to work out within yourself. Don't take it out on the next sister. Some of you melanated women are just straight nasty. Straight up. Straight up. And you need to check yourself. Because you are the nurturers. You're the mothers. You're the first teachers. You are the nurturers. If any child, whether it be male or female, and if they don't have that attachment stage, if they don't have that with the mother, then they're going to experience some type of instability, internal instability. That's how important you are. And it doesn't mean, it's like certain things that I just will not say anymore. I'm not going to say, and it doesn't mean like, that the fathers are not important. You should already know that. Both are equally important, but they play vastly different roles. And that's also a sign of insecurity, where someone always has to like stroke your ego. You are very important. It's supposed to work in a beautiful harmony, not one above the other. That's the way that it goes. The feminine and the masculine, it exists on every plane. So we need each other. That's how we're supposed to function. But I'm speaking to the mothers right now and the melanated women. You need to check yourself. Some of you are straight nasty for absolutely no reason at all. Except you have some unresolved internal issues. But it has nothing to do with the person that you're projecting that onto. And it's not okay. It's not okay. And these are some of the things that we're going to be discussing, that we're going to talk about on the new channel. Like I said, I will drop the link. So what did we discuss tonight? Okay, before I go. Okay, so we discussed, I told you that I was called a racial epithet. I told you about how I responded, that there was no emotional response because I know who I am. And when you know who you are, then no one else can tell you any different, and you will not respond when someone calls you anything other than who you truly are and what you have told them that they better call you. You should give it there should be no emotional response at all to this word, Nga, okay? Because it's really Naga, which is a royal title. So you're gonna call me something, you better call me by my rightful name. But we have to stop giving this word so much energy. Like I said, it's said by people who really are powerless. And it is the only tool, one of the only tools that they have left that they feel will work in their favor, that will cut you, that will hurt you. And the moment they realize that that shit don't work no more, they're going to be in utter despair. Utter despair. But does that mean you should let them play with you? No. No. Don't let them play with you. You are not to be played with. And you should always defend your family. Always. To the death. And I'm about that life. I am. I am. I'm so different than who I used to be. Don't come for me. Don't come for my family. Don't come for my son. You don't want to do that. You don't. You don't. So like I said, I was more so concerned about the aggressive behavior. Pay attention to the things that matter, not the distractions. The racial epithet was a distraction. I was paying attention to what really matters, and that was the aggressive behavior. People are getting hurt out here. And like I said, my son and I were ran off the road. And both were migrants. They were. I told you that what's happened. They've hired all of these migrants in all of these jobs because they're now their new workforce. And I told you why in my last video. I told you why. And there is a lot of you people, again, go within. You're going to see who your enemies are. And you're going to see you got a whole heck a lot of them. A lot of them. And we will have to interface with these migrants, meaning not in a positive way. We will. From the behavior that I have seen, from the conversations that I am privy to, knowing the real intentions. Okay? So don't be distracted. Pay attention to the behavior that you need to be paying attention to. Okay? I've told you that you must always do your inner work. I've told you that you needed to research your family's history, your lineage. It is vitally important. I've told you all that in the last video also, and I'll reiterate it again, that you need to be looking for your family's land. I found a small portion of mine, and I still have to do some confirmation. Now, my great aunt, on my dad's side, still have some family land. It's huge. We used to go there for the summers. She still has possession of that land. And again, like she said, it can only be passed down from heir to heir, never sold. So that land is still there. That's in the Carolinas. But I also have a family history and lineage in the DC, Maryland, and Virginia area. Okay. And so I'm getting those documents all together now, and doing my work, so that I can recover even more land. And you need to be doing the same. You need to be doing the same. There is nothing that can be done without land. There is nothing that can be done without land. There is nothing that can be done without land. I hope you understand what I'm trying to say to you. I hope you understand what I am trying to relay to you when I say that. Many have traveled abroad, and I'm so happy that you're enjoying yourself and that you are having your experience. It is a beautiful thing, and I'm so happy for you, genuinely. But do not leave what belongs to you and your family to languish, excuse me, for someone else to enjoy. Many all have squatted on our lands, they have built on our land, and they have paid us nothing. Rent is due. Rent is due. Okay? So we've talked about that, and I've reiterated that. I would like to know, I see about 3 people in here. I don't know who else is here. Y'all scattered. I know that you let me know that you're here. Others have yet to let me know that they're here. So if you are here, let me know that you're here. And I would like to know who has done their work, who has researched, time traveled, and gone back to research their family's lineage and history. Who has looked for their family's the land? Who has gone to check the archives, the land archives, to see about your family's land? Who has done that? Who has done their research on their family's lineage? Has anyone done it? Anyone? I've told you that also it's time to start the micro communities, the mini communities. Because there is no reason for any of us to be in lack. We're too highly intelligent for that. We're too gifted for that. Where's somebody tell me something? Have you at least done those things? Have you started to do your time travel? What is important to you all? I would like to, what is important to you all? I mean, we really have got to get out of this funk, this stagnicity, like just being so stagnant. Anyway, like I said, I'm getting ready to go. I will drop the link to the new channel. I'm really excited about it because my plate is so full, and I know I'm so late on publishing my second book. I want to thank everyone who purchased the first book, Speak Light. I am working on an audio version for that, but I must finish my second book, which is a beautiful love story. I am so excited about this. Like, so excited about it. I see it on the big screen. It is a beautiful love story. But because it's just one of me at this juncture, I'm waiting on him. I'm waiting on Hebby. He's coming. I'm waiting. But in the interim, right, it's just me. And I'm doing so much always to progress forward, right? To tell my story, to evolve, to expand, and to rise. So it's just me, but it's coming. It literally is almost done. So yeah, I mean, that's what I have for you guys. I just wanted to share that story, but I wanted to share my reaction, and I hope, that I have planted a seed inside of you all for you to watch her, for you to grow. We have to stop giving these words credence. Okay? Know who you are. Start with thyself. You are sacred. I want you to read The Sacred Anatomy of Man. I believe that is the correct title, The Sacred Anatomy of Man. You must know thyself. Okay? At the end of the day, you are energy. You can never die. And I will say that you need to focus more on your transition through quote unquote death than you do as much as you do this human experience and existence. It's not just an easy thing of, your light is left your body and that's it, and you're resting in this. It doesn't go that way. It's a transition. And you must understand there were rites, there were funerary rites, there were things that were done in ancient times that we knew to do so that we can transition properly when our light leaves this particular vessel. And it's something that we must know again. He or she that has an ear, let them hear what I'm saying. If you are still caught up in religious dogma, again, this is not for you. Let me just also say that, like, the new channel it's a total spiritual safe place, okay, in space. There will be some jokes told there. There will be a lot of things that will be done. Some of my writings, some of my monologues, and we're going to have real conversations and we're going to have real healing. But it's definitely not for those who are caught up in religious dogma. Please, it won't be a good space for you. Okay? It will not be a good space for you. I have transcended beyond that. And if that's where you are, I respect truly where you are. And may your journey continue to unfold and be beautiful and be bright. I really, truly do mean that. But that is not where I am. So please do not come to my new channel thinking that that's where I am, because you will not be welcome. You won't. Straight up. You won't be welcome. Okay? I also talked to you all about where we are in this shift. I talked to you about the various beings that are hiding behind the human vessel, the various beings and entities that are hiding behind the human vessel. You think because they look like you that they are you, whether it be a human, right? Or whether it be a fellow Melanite. There are tares. There are counterfeit spirits. And you need to be aware of this. You need to be aware of this. Okay? So I've talked to you about that. I've told you that things will get physical here, and you need to be preparing yourself for that. Because we are on a physical plane. And there's a war in the spiritual realm. So how could you possibly think that it will not manifest here when it's universal law that as above, so below? Okay? I've told you that a lot of people will be leaving this existence before the final hoorah. Okay? A lot of people are going to be leaving. A lot of your loved ones are going to be leaving. So you need to prepare yourself. Okay? And that is it. That is what I have. That is what I have. Of course, if you guys have any questions, you can still email me. I'll be checking those periodically. Like I said, I will leave this channel up. So when my new channel debuts, this channel will still be here. It still has a wealth of information that I think is important for people to have access to. Okay. Other than that, I mean, like I said, I don't see anybody else here. Oh, let me see. Let's not wait. It definitely don't. Okay. So I just wanted to see if I missed like any more comments. Like I said, I am doing what I am supposed to do, working on the homestead. I always leave up my Cash App It is totally up to you if you would like to help Mahogany with the homestead. If your heart is moved to do so, if I mean anything to you, if I have helped you in any way, if you just want to see me do well and do good with this space, you're welcome to send me a Cash App. But I give freely. I always will give freely, always. And you've seen that on this channel, okay? I'll always do what I am supposed to do. Doesn't mean that I'm going to be taken advantage of either, because that's not going to happen. But I have always given freely. I am an initiator, okay, of truth. And so my job is to plant the seed and to have you grow that seed. Okay. So yeah, I send love to you all. I'm just so excited about your journey. I'm excited about your evolution, and I'm just, I've loved to have, a front row seat in watching you, in your evolutionary transformation. So come and join me on the other channel. I'm still debating about what the final name is going to be. Like I said, I will drop a video on this channel letting you know what the new channel is and a link to that channel. And we're going to have a good time. We're going to really, dig deep and solve some issues. We're going to have a lot of great laughs, and you're going to get to know a little more about me and another side of me. I can be a very goofy, loose person, but I do recognize that we are at war, and I must do my part. I must do my part. Okay. But yeah, that's it. That is all that I have for you guys. Okay. All right. So if there aren't any more questions, like I said, if it does anybody have any questions, I see now that there are 4 people here. Let me know that you're here, my people, if you're here, unless you just came to be nosy. But does anybody have any questions? Anybody? Before I go, I'll wait and see here. And thank you, y'all scattered, for your input. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah. Anybody have any questions? Let's see. Does anybody have any questions? Anybody? All right. Make sure that you like my content, okay? I know, like I said, I'll leave it up, but it's still important that you like. It's important that you share. That's another way that you can, support, okay? All right. Well, I love you guys. All right. I'll see you. Until next time, you guys, be good. All right.